Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's time for us to begin our meeting, and I want to welcome everyone who is here in the chambers tonight. This is a special called meeting. It's a replacement meeting for next Tuesday, which would be our regular meeting. So anytime there's a meeting other than our announced meetings, which are the second and fourth Tuesday, 6 p.m., and our workshop third Thursday at noon, the meeting has to be declared as a special call. And we'll conduct the meeting tonight as with the same agenda that we would have used next Tuesday, but this is special call because it isn't one of those three times. For our invocation tonight, Jamie Jordan is here, and Jamie, if you'll come please and lead us.
Let's pray. Almighty Father, we give you thanks for this day, and we give you thanks for all the things that maybe that have blessed us this day that we've just taken for granted. We give you thanks for a great city leadership, Lord, that you have blessed us with, for good people who will gather in meetings such as this to make a great city even better. So, Lord, you love us, your people, more than we could ever know. I pray that those who are voting and making decisions, Lord, will just realize that love that you have for your people, Lord, and that they would operate out of that same kind of love. Lord, I pray for all tonight that you would just pour out your wisdom. Let us lean on you and not ourselves. Lord, my heart is heavy for and just feels tugged towards our first responders. This just always, Lord, I'm going to pray a special protection over them, some of whom are represented in this meeting here. Lord, would you look after them, those who are called to look after the rest of us. And I pray that you would just protect them, and Lord, that you would use them in mighty ways to save the people that you love, Lord. So continue to equip them and equip the rest of us to do what you have called us to do. We pray this all in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Everybody said,
Amen.
Amen.
Thank you, Jamie. Serves on our housing, Section 8 Housing Board, and newly on our Housing Authority Board. Thank you for your service, sir. Honored to have a local U.S. Armed Forces veteran with us to lead the Pledge of Allegiance. We're pleased to welcome Mr. Paul Mazurek, Staff Sergeant, retired. Mr. Mazurek is the chairman of the Madison County Veterans Committee. He served 21 years in the Kentucky National Guard and is a Desert Storm veteran. He was a member of the 2123rd Heavy Equipment Transportation Unit here in Richmond and is also a member of the Kentucky Veterans Hall of Fame. Congratulations, sir. Mr. Mazurek, thank you for your service to our country and for leading our pledge this evening. Please, sir, proceed.
Please stand. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, sir. We'll call the meeting to order. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Commissioner Cole?
Yes.
Commissioner Goebel?
Yes.
Commissioner Newby?
Here.
Commissioner Brewer?
Present.
Mayor Blythe?
Here, thank you. Our first presentation for the evening, the Domestic Violence Awareness Proclamation, and let's see, those are there, okay. And you guide me while I'm down. This is always, I guess, a time of mixed emotions for us that we even do this. throughout our society. And we're so grateful for those like Jennifer who give of themselves that some good things can be provided for those who are found from time to time in certainly undesirable circumstances. Why don't we do this in reverse this time? Why don't you do your remarks first, and then we'll read the proclamation.
Okay, all right. We're doing this a little early, than what we typically do, but unfortunately, we do have to come together in October to recognize Domestic Violence Awareness Month, and honestly, it's a beautiful mixture of colors because it's Breast Cancer Awareness Month as well, and unfortunately, we have to continue to fight that as well. Last year in Kentucky, we're working on the numbers for this year, but last year at this time I reported the year before, we had 57 people in the state of Kentucky who lost their lives due to domestic violence. That's an issue. We are working strongly with our first responders and our criminal justice system to look at cases that are more high risk so we can lower some of those numbers. Unfortunately, we have people who die at the hands of people who are supposed to love them all the time. So Domestic Violence Awareness Month is something that we work hard to recognize and to pull the community in with us as well. So you know that we always, when we do that, we kick it off with lunch at City Hall. So we are doing that again this year. We'll be eating here this year. We were at Berea last year, but we're back in Richmond this year, and it will be on Thursday, October 2nd, I believe, and we'll be here at 11 a.m. Come, we'll read the proclamation again, and hopefully we'll have all of our governments together. Mayor Fraley and Judge Taylor are wonderful to make it over or send somebody, and so we all come together and we invite the community to come and have lunch with us, and you'll hear a wonderful speaker this year who will say some words, share her story, and we will have lunch together and talk about ways that we can, battle domestic violence in this community. Madison County is a safer community because it has so many resources like Hope Springs, like Enrich, like the food pantry, like the folks at Baptist Health. We are a very fortunate community. So I invite all of you to join us for lunch at City Hall. There are a few other things that we'll do in October. We are planning our first 5K. I may have to lean on you all because we have never done this before, and I clearly do not run 5Ks, right? So I will stand with the snacks. I'll wait for people at the finish line with the snacks. But we're doing our first 5K. It's called Hope Takes Flight, and that is on October the 17th, and it'll be at Whitehall. It's an evening run. So come hang out with us, register. I'll walk with you. Somebody walk with me. I'll do that. But register, come out and join us for that. We're going to be doing some other things around the community, smaller things to raise awareness throughout October. But we're just always pleased to have the city of Richmond support. You guys are always wonderful to Hope Swings. You're our family, and we appreciate you. We appreciate our community because we are your shelter. We are not a state-operated shelter. We're not part of the coalition. We are strictly Madison County's shelter. You saw a need for us. You went to work. You built us, you sustain us, and we appreciate it. So thank you for reading the proclamation with me a couple weeks early, because you'll have to do it again on October 2nd. Practice run? Practice makes perfect. Oh, and while I have you, Mayor did say that he would be buying lunch for everybody at City Hall tomorrow at Mad Mushroom. If you haven't seen, and all of you buy lunch at Mad Mushroom, Rodney, your officers need fed for Mad Mushroom tomorrow, and I'm going to push Mad Mushroom because they are giving 100% of their sales to Hope Swings tomorrow. From their Richmond, I think they have 3 locations, 2 in Lexington and 1 here in Richmond. So all 3 locations are giving 100% of their sales to Hope Swings tomorrow. So eat lunch. We are down grants. I got notice this week that a grant that we get from Kentucky Housing Corporation that is a discretionary grant, which if you are in the grant world, you need to understand that those are hard to find. Those are grants that somebody says you spend it however you see fit, however you need to spend it. And it's usually a $16,000 grant that we're not getting this year because they are not able to offer it. Kentucky Housing is not able to offer it because of funding cuts that they've gotten. So I need you all to eat pizza tomorrow. I need to make up $16,000. So So, eat pizza. What time is it?
11 to whatever time or
It is whatever they're open. So whatever time you need to feed your people, you just feed them. You order it at Mad Mustard. That's right. Okay? Let's make them super busy tomorrow. So if you can help us out with that, we appreciate it. Otherwise, I'm gonna be opening hot dog stands. I'm not above it, I'll do it. I started out doing it, we sold hot dogs at Southern States whenever I first started at Hope Swing, so I don't mind. We'll turn it into whatever we need to. Let me-
Okay. This is a proclamation from the three governments in Madison County, the Madison County Fiscal Court, City of Richmond, and City of Berea. Proclamation says, whereas domestic violence has no place in our society, and we have a moral obligation to support the victims and their children while putting into place strategies for preventing it in the future. And whereas domestic violence destroys lives and damages the dignity of men, women, and children. Whereas Domestic Violence Awareness Month is an opportunity to emphasize our commitment to ending domestic violence in our community. And whereas a home should be the ultimate place for safety, comfort, and love, domestic violence shatters these basic foundations of life. We are strongly committed to addressing domestic violence and helping those who have been victimized. And whereas during Domestic Violence Awareness Month, we are grateful for the agencies and individuals providing care to those affected by these acts of cruelty, and to law enforcement and the court system for bringing offenders to justice. By working together, we can build a community where every home honors the value and dignity of its loved ones. Now, therefore, the Madison County Fiscal Court, the City of Richmond, and the City of Berea do hereby proclaim October 2025 as Domestic Violence Awareness Month in Richmond, Berea, and all of Madison County. We urge all our citizens to reach out to victims and to help end domestic violence. Officially signed by Reagan Taylor, Madison County Judge Executive, Bruce Fraley, Berea City Mayor, and Robert R. Blythe, Mayor of the City of Richmond. And it is an honor always to join you in this community in recognizing some of those things that cause us to be less than we ought to be. So thank you for what you do, Jim.
Stand over there.
The official. Yeah. Those persons who are representing our Paint the Town Pink Month, let me see. Yes, indeed. Come on. This proclamation again from the three governments in Madison County. And always we are happy to join with those who make special effort to make our community, communities, our county community more aware of some of those things, in this case, a health issue that is, again, less than desirable.
Well, listen, thank you so much for having us this evening. I am standing in for my amazing colleague, Sarah Stringfield. She had a family emergency this afternoon, so thank you for welcoming me. If I don't know you already, my name is Carrie Martin, and I'm the director of the foundation at Baptist Health Richmond. These are my two esteemed colleagues here. Mary Lindsay is our director of cancer care, and then Kelby Robinson is our community liaison, and no slight to your position, Mayor Blythe, we call him the mayor of Baptist. So, very special individual. But, you know, we're here to represent Paint the Town Pink. And Paint the Town Pink began about 17 years ago when some talented team members at then Patty Clay had a vision and recognized the need for us to just better raise awareness of cancer and to help educate our community and to really have a conversation around prevention. And I don't know if you know this or not, President Greg Girard shared with me a few weeks ago that Kentucky is now leading in cancer in the whole United States of America. We have taken the lead. And that is unfortunately a tragically growing club. And so we feel called more than ever, as with our Paint the Town Pink campaign, to really have this conversation and raise awareness, talk to people, and encourage them to take those preventative measures. And we do that in the month of October. And we plan a number of events that help us celebrate and not celebrate, but educate and pull people together to have a conversation around that prevention space. And so I'll share with you that the Paint the Town Pink, it didn't start out as a fundraising effort. It truly started out as a special community campaign. But it ended up realizing generosity. And so over time, it's realized over $150,000 in generosity, and we've done some really beautiful things with that generosity. And I'll share with you a couple of them. We've realized a new cancer center. We opened the doors on it over a year ago and really feel called to make sure that we can serve all those who need that care. And then Mary Lindsay has a beautiful quilt yarn here. Mary Lindsay, why don't you hold that up so they can see it? But this quilt is made by a wonderful group of women in our community who gather every single week to make quilts that we can turn around and give to our cancer patients at Baptist Health Richmond on their first day of treatment. Generosity is what empowers and allows those quilts to be made. So I assure you that not only is Paint the Town Pink creating a conversation, it's helping to realize generosity that is making a big difference in the lives of those who are navigating this journey. So with that said, I hope that you will plan to join us. We have a couple of special events coming up. On Friday, September the 26th, at 10:30 a.m. on the courthouse lawn, we will gather for the kickoff, the Paint the Town Pink kickoff, and you'll enjoy hearing from a few special speakers, including some really special survivors. And then on Friday, October the 3rd, we too, where's Jennifer? I don't know, here she is. We too are going to have a 5K, and so I hope you'll come out and get in some miles with us. It's going to be here downtown. It's going to be called our Neon Night Run. And again, it's all for the sole purpose of realizing generosity that we can invest in the lives of those who are walking this journey. I'll end by saying this. Mary Lindsay does a fabulous job of helping run the team and lead that team over at Baptist. I had the pleasure of sitting with someone who was overcoming breast cancer. She was getting her last treatment. And she said to me, she was also a mother of 2 boys like me, and she said, Carrie, look around this room. She said, look at the nurses, look at the doctors, look at everything you see in this room. The only thing I've ever seen and felt here is love. And that's what we're committed to at Baptist, and that's what we're committed to with this campaign. So my heartfelt gratitude to you all for your support, for your coming, being a part of our events, and encouraging others to do so. Thank you.
Proclamation, and it is bordered in pink. And it reads, whereas October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, the City of Richmond, the City of Berea, and Madison County enthusiastically join the national initiative to fight breast cancer on the local front with energy, devotion, and compassion. And whereas the promise of Baptist Health Richmond is to save lives and increase awareness of breast cancer by empowering people, by ensuring quality care for all, and energizing science to find a cure. And whereas the battle with breast cancer is ongoing, we urge all women to practice monthly self-exams and women over the age of 40 to have a yearly mammogram. And whereas the City of Richmond, the City of Berea, and Madison County honor and recognize breast cancer survivors who have triumphed over this devastating disease. Their courage and spirit are inspirations to us. Now, therefore, the City of Richmond, City of Berea, and the Madison County Fiscal Court do hereby proclaim the month of October as Paint the Town Pink Month, in recognition of breast cancer awareness in the City of Richmond, the City of Berea, and Madison County, Kentucky. And we urge all citizens to join in the fight to promote breast health awareness and to find a cure for breast cancer. In official recognition whereof, we hereby affix our signatures. Bruce Fraley, Berea City Mayor, Reagan Taylor, Madison County Judge Executive, and Robert R. Blythe, Mayor.
Okay. It's actually based on number of calls and not population. Yep.
You know, so often we talk about the wonderful things that are going on in our community, and we talk about such things as industry and other kinds of events of that nature, openings of businesses, but this is some of the good stuff, the community coming together to help folks, and it's a credit to this community that they're the hearts that are willing. All righty. We have in our packet the minutes from the workshop meeting, August 21, noon, regular meeting, August 26, 6 p., and the regular meeting, September 9, 6 p. If you've had a chance to look at those, may we have a motion, please, that we will accept all of those as presented.
So moved.
Commissioner Cole,
Second.
Commissioner Newby, is there any discussion, question, or comment? There being none, Madam Clerk, please.
Commissioner Goble,
Yes.
Commissioner Newby,
Yes.
Commissioner Brewer,
Yes.
Commissioner Cole.
Yes.
Mayor Blythe.
Yes, thank you. Ordinance 25-22, an ordinance of the City of Richmond levying an ad valorem tax for the 2025 year upon all property situated in the city that is subject to taxation. This is a second reading. We will vote tonight. Mr. Attorney, please.
Good evening, y'all.
Good evening, sir.
Whereas the City of Richmond does levy an ad valorem tax yearly upon all property situated in the city that is subject to taxation, and whereas the tax rate has been calculated and reviewed, now therefore be it ordained by the City of Richmond Board of Commissioners that, Section 1, there is hereby levied upon all property, real and personal, situated within the corporate limits of the City of Richmond and having a taxable status in said city, which is taxable by the city for city purposes for the 2025 year, an ad valorem tax fixed on each $100 worth of said property, as the value thereof has been determined in the manner required by law as follows. A, the ad valorem tax for personal property for the City of Richmond General Fund for the 2025 year shall be at the rate of 13.7 cents on each $100 worth of said property. B, the ad valorem tax for real property for the City of Richmond General Fund for the 2025 year shall be at the rate of 11.1 cents on each $100 worth of the said property. Section 2, the ad valorem tax for motor vehicles for the year 2025 to be collected by the Madison County Court Clerk shall be at the rate of 28.7 cents on each $100 of assessment and will be used as follows. General Fund, 28.7 cents. Section 3, there shall be a 2% discounts on all tax bills paid prior to November 1, 2025. The face amount will be due from November 1, 2025 until December 31, 2025. A penalty of 10% shall be added to all taxes and assessments remaining unpaid after January 1, 2026, and that such taxes and assessments shall bear interest at the rate of 15% per annum from January 1, 2026 until paid. Section 4, this ordinance shall become effective immediately upon second reading, adoption, and publication by the City of Richmond Board of Commissioners.
Thank you, sir. That's ordinance 25-22, and this, again, is a second reading. May we have a motion, please, bring to the floor for discussion and approval?
So moved.
Commissioner Cole
Second.
and Commissioner Brewer. Is there any discussion? Anything you want to add, Mr. City Manager?
Mayor, I'd just point out that we did take the compensating rate this year, and if you look at the personal property compared to the 2024 rate, the 2024 rate was 15.3%, or 15.3 per $100, and that was lowered down to 13.7. And then on the real property, 2024 rate was 12.1 per $100, and it dropped down to 11.1. So we are lowering property taxes. I will point out that we have increased our footprint in taxation for assets at approximately $396 million. So that's the kind of growth we're going through right now.
Thank you, sir. Is there any other discussion, comment, or question? All right, there being none, Madam Clerk, please.
Commissioner Newby,
Yes.
Commissioner Brewer,
Yes.
Commissioner Cole,
Yes.
Commissioner Goble,
Yes.
Mayor Bly.
Yes, thank you. Ordinance 25-23, an ordinance of the City of Richmond, Kentucky, changing the zoning classification for property located on the corner of Heath Street and Estill Avenue within the city limits. This is, again, a second reading, and we will vote tonight. Let's see here. Turn the page, and Mr. Attorney, please.
Whereas MBR Properties LLC owner has filed with the Richmond Planning and Zoning Commission an application for a zoning map amendment at the corner of Heath Street and Estill Avenue, 165 South Estill, with 0.289 acres, Richmond, Kentucky, and whereas the property is currently vacant land with zone classification B1 neighborhood business and requesting change to I1 light industry. Whereas the Planning and Zoning Commission conducted a public hearing on the requested zone change on August 20th, 2025, in the course of which it received evidence and testimony from persons in favor of and opposed to the requested zone change. And whereas at the conclusion of the public hearings, the Planning and Zoning Commission voted to recommend that the zone change be granted. And whereas the Planning and Zoning Commission at its meeting adopted written findings of fact as to the zone change, and the issue is now before the Board of Commissioners for final determination. And whereas the Board of Commissioners believe it to be in the public interest that it adopts the recommendation of the Planning and Zoning Commission in accordance with the findings of fact adopted by that body. Now, therefore, be it ordained that Section 1, the Board of Commissioners does hereby adopt the recommendations of the Richmond Planning and Zoning Commission as to the requested zone change. The property in question, located in Richmond, Madison County, Kentucky, as to which the zone change shall apply are corner of Heath Street and Estill Avenue, 165 South Estill Avenue, 0.289 acres, Richmond, Kentucky, Deed Book 867, page 598. The Board of Commissioners does hereby adopt the written findings of fact adopted by the Planning and Zoning Commission as its findings of fact. In accordance with these findings, The zoning of said property shall be and hereby are: changed property is currently vacant land with zone classification B1 neighborhood business and requesting change to I1 light industry. Section 2, the Director of Planning and Zoning shall make the appropriate changes to the official map of the City of Richmond, Kentucky. Section 3, this ordinance shall be effective immediately upon its enactment following second reading and publication in accordance with the requirements of applicable Kentucky law.
Thank you, sir. This is the second reading of ordinance 25-23. May we have a motion, please, to bring to the floor now for discussion and approval?
I move.
Commissioner Newby,
Second.
Commissioner Brewer, is there any discussion? There being none, Madam Clerk, please.
Commissioner Brewer,
Yes.
Commissioner Cole,
Yes.
Commissioner Goble,
Yes.
Commissioner Newby,
Yes.
Mayor Blythe.
Yes, thank you. Ordinance 25-24, an ordinance of the City of Richmond, Kentucky, amending the city's zoning and development ordinance. This is a second reading also. Mr. Attorney, please.
Whereas the city's Director of Planning and Zoning has presented to the Richmond Planning and Zoning Commission for its consideration various amendments to the city's zoning and development ordinance. And whereas the Planning and Zoning Commission, following public notice as required by applicable law, did conduct a public hearing on August 20th, 2025 for purposes of considering the various amendments proposed by the Director of Planning and Zoning. And whereas the Planning and Zoning Commission, at the conclusion of such public hearing, recommended that the various amendments presented to it be enacted and adopted by the city's Board of Commissioners. And whereas the Board of Commissioners has considered the various proposed additions and does find that the adoption of some is necessary, it should be same, I think, is necessary, proper, and in the public interest. Now therefore, be it ordained that the city's zoning and development ordinance be, and the same hereby is, amended as follows. Section 1, Section 406.5, allowable land uses, is amended to provide for following zone determinations. Social assembly shall be a conditional use in the following zones: R1A, R1B, R1C, R2, R3, RE, PSP, B1, B2, B3, and B4. Shooting range shall be a conditional use in the following zones: AG, B3, I1, and I2. Section 2, this ordinance shall be effective immediately upon passage following second reading and publication in accordance with the requirements of applicable Kentucky law.
Thank you, sir. That's ordinance 25-24. Again, this is a second reading. May we have a motion to bring to the floor, please, for discussion and approval?
So moved.
Commissioner Cole
Second.
and Commissioner Goble. Is there any discussion?
I just had a couple questions again, and we talked about this, a little bit last week, so I don't mean to repeat myself, but I just, I understand that we need to make the modification because our ordinance wasn't clear enough, and I understand that. I just still have concerns about the wedding venues being in people's neighborhoods. Pretty much all the neighborhoods would be covered, I guess, in the way that we're rewriting it. So I just would like to, if we could include comments in there, that I just really want to encourage us as a city to closely monitor where we approve those wedding venues to be at in residential developments. I live in an older part of town where we struggle every single day with parking. And so if there were a social gathering of a large nature on my street, we literally can't get home.
Yes.
And that happens, believe me, I'm not exaggerating. So anyway, I understand we need to do this, but I'd like for my comments to just express that it's important to me that we provide a little bit more monitoring with this and are very cautious as we, approve business license and so forth to do wedding venues in residential neighborhoods.
Thank you, Commissioner Cole. Anyone else?
On the shooting range part of it, a few people had asked me about that, and I, encouraged them to tune in for tonight. I mean, when I think of a shooting range, I think of DOCJT on the EKU campus, and I understand that. So we're going to be able to have shooting ranges within the city of Richmond outside the core. So I guess if we could just clarify what that means, outside the core, I'm not sure what that means. And then they can be in B3 and I1 zones. So if we could just, if you make it clear what those are and then what outside the core means.
I'm not sure what outside the core means. I will tell you that in these zones, they are indoor shooting ranges. They're not
And it's
outdoors.
B3 for business.
Ag B3, I1, and I2, but outside the core has thrown me off as well.
There's no language.
Yeah.
Commissioner, where are you getting that language from, outside the core?
It was discussed in the planning and zoning
Okay.
meeting
In there.
Oh, okay.
that
And
they should be more outside the core, which I totally agree with. I'm just not sure what
So
outside the core
what
is.
they mean by that is not right downtown
Not
Richmond.
downtown.
Right.
Outside the core
Which
of downtown.
would not be good for a lot of reasons.
So that's what that means.
So you could have a shooting range in B3, and that's business. What's the three? What zone is that, B3?
It's B3, it's not a road front business. So think of your businesses as a B1 as main road front, B2 behind that, and B3 behind that. And there's different classifications. I can't tell you those off the top of my head, but they're in our zoning classifications.
And then the other one's the industrial.
Right.
That they could be in an industrial zone. And so I feel like on this one, it's also monitored by the state of Kentucky, because to do a shooting range, the Kentucky building codes and so forth would be
That's
involved
correct.
too. So I think that gives us another layer of protection in terms of where those go as well.
And remember, both of these, the social assembly and the shooting range, they have to be approved, they're conditional use. So if somebody comes to the city and wants to do a shooting range or a social assembly, they've got to go in front of the Board of Adjustments. And they'll have to show that they can meet parking requirements and the guidelines by the state for the shooting
The
range.
safety part out of it is.
Yeah,
Is
absolutely.
the most important part out of that through the Board of Adjustments with
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I understand. That's why I wanted to provide my comments, so that when those do become before the board, that we pay particular attention to parking, because it gets tough.
Yeah, a comment in one of these from the same record. A commissioner, planning and zoning commissioner, feels the areas cannot support the parking, traffic, and the noise generated. And I think there has to be that kind of respect for a residential area. Yeah. Any other discussion? This is again a second reading. There being none, Madam Clerk, please.
Commissioner Cole,
Yes, with my comments, please.
Commissioner Goble,
Yes.
Commissioner Newby,
Yes.
Commissioner Brewer,
yes.
Mayor Blythe.
Yes, thank you. And Commissioner Cole, to further that, I would think in the spirit of this, if we determine down the road that the granting of the permission to do some of these events is just not working, that there would be action that we then would take accordingly.
Thank you.
Yes, indeed. There is the concern in many of our long-settled neighborhoods that some things are changing. Change is not bad, it's just that sometimes it's an imposition, some of the
Yes.
things that are taking place, and I've seen it in
Yes.
several. And so we'll be keeping the eyes and ears open. Ordinance 25-25, an ordinance of the City of Richmond, Kentucky, amending Section 117.17, licenses required, applications, regulations being the titles. This is a first reading. Mr. Attorney, please.
It's a first reading, not a filibuster, I promise that, but there was just a lot of changes that need to be made in this ordinance. Whereas Kentucky Supreme Court Justice Charles M. Leibson described Kentucky's alcohol statutes as a maze of obscure statutory language, which were confusing at best and whose meaning was anybody's guess, in Howard v. Taylor, 695 Southwest 2nd, 420, at 427, Kentucky, 1985. And whereas the city places a priority on presenting ordinances in a manner that are easy to understand for a layman citizen and/or business owner. And whereas the city, through this ordinance amendment, seeks to provide city residents and business owners with the most current city process for the application for city alcohol licenses. Now therefore be it ordained by the Board of Commissioners of the City of Richmond as follows. Section 117.17 of the City of Richmond Code of Ordinances entitled Licenses Required, Applications, Regulations is amended to read as follows. A, license required. 1, no person shall sell, deal, or traffic in alcohol without having procured a license as provided by ordinance or without complying with all statutes, ordinances, and regulations applicable thereto. 2, any person violating any of the provisions of Division A shall be deemed guilty of a Class B misdemeanor for the first offense with increasing penalties for subsequent violations as defined by KRS 243.990. Each sale, each dealing, or each trafficking without the required license shall constitute a separate offense. B, state application for license. Applications for the issuance of new licenses shall be made through the Kentucky Alcoholic Beverage Control Portal at https://abcportal.ky.gov/bell_external/. If required by the specific license applied for, the applicant for a new license shall have cause to be published in the newspaper for legal notices for the city, as required by KRS 243.360. The notice shall state the name and address of the applicant and the name and address of each principal owner, partner, member, officer, and director if the applicant is a partnership, limited liability company, corporation, governmental agency, or other business entity recognized by law. The notice shall specifically state the location and of the premises for which the license is sought, the type of business and the type of license being requested, and the notice shall state the date the application will be filed and shall contain the following statement. Any person may protest the approval of this license by writing the Department of Alcoholic Beverage Control within 30 days of the date of legal publication. 1, the publication requirement will not apply for the following licenses. A, out-of-state malt beverage supplier's license. B, limited out-of-state malt beverage supplier's license. C, out-of-state distilled spirits and wine supplier's license. D, limited out-of-state distilled spirits and wine supplier's license. E, supplemental bar license. F, extended hour supplemental license. G, special agent or solicitor's license. H, special non-beverage alcohol license. I, transporter's license. J, special Sunday drink license. K, hotel in-room license. L, sampling license. M, direct shipper license. N, special temporary drink license. Or O, vintage distilled spirits license. C, local application for license. The City of Richmond ABC license application may be found at https://backslash/departments/codes_enforcement/ABC_application.php and must be completed contemporaneously with the state application. An applicant's business license and any other city-issued licenses must be in good standing before the license may be issued. Applicants are also apprised that the City of Richmond may revoke an ABC license should any of the information on the city ABC application be found to be incorrect and the declaration that the information in an application is true, correct, and complete to the best of the applicant's knowledge and belief is done so under penalty of perjury. D, local administrator to approve application first. Before being eligible for license approval through the Kentucky Alcohol Beverage Portal, an applicant's city license for manufacturing, sale, or transportation of alcoholic beverages must have been approved by the city ABC administrator. E, payment of delinquent taxes prerequisite to issuance. No license to sell alcoholic beverages shall be granted to any person who is delinquent in the payment of any taxes due to the city at the time of issuing the license, nor shall any license be granted to sell upon any premises or property owned and occupied by the licensee upon which there are any delinquent taxes due to the city. In such cases, if taxes due the city for any taxing period prior to the date of the application for a license are unpaid and delinquent upon the property or premises upon which a license to sell is sought, the alcoholic beverage administrator may, at their discretion, approve a license after receiving from the finance director a written statement to the effect that the applicant for the license has paid or has made arrangements with the finance director satisfactory to them for taking care of the indebtedness represented by the unpaid and delinquent taxes above referred to. This section shall apply only to taxes which are due and payable by the licensee. F, issuance of city licenses. Upon approval of the application, the applicant shall pay the amount of the license fee provided in the subchapter within the time prescribed in this subchapter to the finance department, after which time the city will issue the license. G, persons who may not be licensed. 1, an individual convicted of any felony until 5 years have passed from the date of conviction, release from custody or incarceration, parole or termination of probation, whichever is later. 2, an individual has been convicted of any misdemeanor involving a controlled substance that is described in or classified pursuant to KRS Chapter 218A in the 2 years immediately preceding the application. 3, an individual has been convicted of any misdemeanor directly or indirectly attributable to the use of alcoholic beverages or cannabis-infused beverages in the 2 years immediately preceding the application. 4, an individual is under the age of 21 years of age. 5, an individual who has had any license relating to the regulation of the manufacture, sale, and distribution of alcoholic beverages, or the regulation of the sale, distribution, or transportation of cannabis-infused beverages, revoked for cause, or has been convicted of a violation of any statute within KRS 241 to 244 until the expiration of 2 years from the date of revocation or conviction. H, a partnership, limited liability company, corporation, governmental agency, or other business entity shall not be licensed if 1, each principal owner, partner, member, officer, and director does not qualify under G1, 2, 3, 4, or 5 of this ordinance. 2, it has had any license relating to the regulation of the manufacture, sale, and transportation of alcoholic beverages, or the regulation of the sale, distribution, or transportation of cannabis-infused beverages, revoked for cause, or has been convicted of a violation of any state statute within KRS 241 to 244 until the expiration of 2 years from the date of the revocation or conviction. 3, any principal owner, partner, member, officer, or director, or any business entity in which they were directly or indirectly interested, had any license revoked for cause, or has been convicted of a violation of any statute within KRS 241 to 244 until the expiration of 2 years from the date of the revocation or 2 years from the date of conviction. I, expiration date, renewal of licenses. All licenses except for temporary licenses and state multiple license holders issued under this subchapter shall expire on April 30th of each year, and the fees thereof shall be due and payable on or before May 1st of each year. State multiple license holders shall be known as batch licensees. All batch licenses shall expire on August 31st of each year, and the fees thereof shall be due and payable on or before September 1 of each year. J, special temporary licenses. The city alcoholic beverage administrator may, in their sound discretion, approve a special temporary retail drink license to any qualified group and/or person who is qualified for such a license in accordance with the provisions of KRS 243.260. The fee for such license shall be $166.66 per event for which the temporary license is issued. The city alcoholic beverage administrator may, in their sound discretion, approve a special and temporary alcoholic beverage auction license to any charitable or nonprofit organization who is qualified for such a license in accordance with the provisions of KRS 243.036. K, special private club license, non-quota type 3. A private club or non-quota type 3 license may be issued to any nonprofit social, fraternal, military, or political organization, club, or nonprofit, or for-profit entity maintaining or operating a club room, club rooms, or premises from which the general public is excluded, which for more than 1 year prior to the date of application has maintained and operated a club room or rooms from which the general public is excluded. This license shall authorize the licensee to exercise the privilege of a distilled spirits and wine retail drink license at the designated premises if the general public is excluded. All restrictions and prohibitions applying to a distilled spirits and wine retail drink license shall apply to a special private club license. L, transfer of assignment of license without authorization prohibited. No license issued under KRS 243.020 to 243.670 to any person for any licensed premises shall be transferable or assignable to any other person or to any other premises unless a transfer or assignment is authorized by the state administrator in the exercise of their sound discretion under KRS 243.630, 243.640, and 243.650. If this is so approved, a payment of $50 shall be made to the finance director. M, transfer of license to other premises. In cases of destruction by an act of God or casualty for which the licensee was not responsible, or premises for which a license under KRS 243.020 to KRS 243.670 has been issued, the state administrator who issued the license may, if in their discretion such action is necessary to attain justice, change the license to authorize continuance of business at other premises. No such transfer shall be made unless the licensee had filed a written verified statement of the reasons for the necessity of the transfer. If the transfer is made, the state administrator shall endorse a description of the new premises upon the license and shall date and sign the endorsement. N, posting of license. 1, before commencing or doing business for the time which a license has been issued, the license shall be posted and at all times displayed in a conspicuous place in the room or principal room where the business is carried on, so that all persons visiting the place may readily see the license. Licenses shall be enclosed in a wood or metal frame enclosing a clear glass space so that the whole license may be seen. 2, no licensee shall post the license or permit it to be posted upon premises other than the license's premises or upon premises where traffic in alcoholic beverages is being carried on by any person other than the licensee, or knowingly deface, destroy, or alter the license in any respect. O, lost or destroyed licenses. When the license shall be lost or destroyed without fault on the part of the holder of the license or their agent or employee, a duplicate in lieu of the original license shall be issued by the finance director after the finance director is satisfied as to the facts. However, the person applying for the duplicate license shall pay a fee of $10 for issuing the duplicate. P, sales only at a place specified in the license. No license issued pursuant to the subchapter shall authorize the sale of alcoholic beverages of any kind at more than one place, which shall be specified in the license, and a separate license must be taken out for each place in which any alcoholic beverages are prepared to be sold, unless the statute authorizing the types of business a specific license can do includes with specificity that the license travels, such as a small farm winery or a microbrewery license to specific statutorily recognized events like farmers markets. Q, distilled spirits, malt beverages, and wine licenses, kinds, fees. The following kinds of distilled spirits and malt beverages and wine licenses may be issued, the fees for which shall be: distiller's license per annum $500, rectifier's license Class A per annum $3,000, rectifier's license Class B craft rectifier per annum $960, wholesaler's distilled spirits and wine license per annum $3,000, Quota retail package license per annum, $752.45. Quota retail drink license per annum, $752.45. Special temporary license per event, $166.66. Non-quota type 1 retail drink license includes distilled spirits, wine, and malt beverages per annum, $2,000. Non-quota type 2 retail drink license includes distilled spirits, wine, and malt beverages per annum, $1,000. Non-quota type 3 retail drink license includes distilled spirits, wine, and malt beverages per annum, $300. Special temporary alcoholic auction beverage auction license per event, $100. Special Sunday retail drink license per annum, $300. Caterer's license per annum, $800. Bottling house or bottling house storage license per annum, $1,000. Malt beverage licenses are as follows. Brewer's license per annum, $500. Microbrewery license per annum, $500. Malt beverage distributor's license per annum, $400. Non-quota retail malt beverage package license issued to a holder of non-quota type 4 retail malt beverage drink license per annum, $50. Non-quota retail malt beverage package license per annum, $200. Non-quota type 4 retail malt beverage drink license per annum, $200. Non-quota type 4 malt beverage drink license issued to a holder of a non-quota retail malt beverage package license per annum, $50. Limited restaurant license includes distilled spirits, wine, and malt beverages per annum, $1,200. Limited golf course license includes distilled spirits, wine, and malt beverages per annum, $1,200. Supplemental bar license per supplemental bar issued to same licensee at the same premises. No charge after the first 5 per annum are the same as the fee for the primary drink license. R, payment of the license fee. The license fee for every license issued under this subchapter shall be payable by the person making the application for the license and to whom the license is issued, and no other person shall pay for any license under this subchapter. A violation of this section shall require the revocation of the license, the fee for which was paid by another, and also revocation of the license, if any, of the person so paying for the license of another. S, partial license fees, forfeiture, proportional payments in law. 1, when a person applies for a license required or authorized by this subchapter after May 1st of any year, they shall be charged, if the license is issued, a license fee equal to as many 12ths of the annual license fee as there are calendar months, including the month in which the license is granted, until the following May 1st, except that no license shall be issued for a shorter period than 6 months. No abatement of license fees shall be permitted to any person who held a license of the same kind for the same premises in the preceding license period and who is actually doing business under the license during the last month of the preceding license period. 2, the proportionate part of the license fee prescribed shall be paid in advance of the time the application therefore shall be made and the license issued as herein provided for. If any license is revoked or canceled for any reason by the City Alcoholic Beverage Administrator, the licensee shall forfeit any and all claims which they might otherwise have had to any portion of the license fee paid by them upon issuing of the license. 3, should any person, after obtaining a license to carry on any of the businesses mentioned under this subchapter, be prohibited from conducting such business for the full term of the license because of any changes that may hereafter be made in the laws of the state with reference to intoxicating liquors, then the city shall refund to them the proportionate part of the license for the period during which they are prevented from carrying on the business. T, revocation and/or suspension of licenses. Licenses issued under the subchapter may be revoked or suspended as spelled out in section 117.99. U, disposition. All money derived from the collection of license fees or the forfeiture of bonds pursuant to the subchapter shall be paid into and become part of the general fund of the city government. This ordinance shall become effective immediately upon its enactment following second reading and publication in accordance with the provisions of applicable Kentucky law.
Hallelujah.
Never been so glad to get through the alphabet.
Hey, he's not scheduled to read any more of these.
Good job, Chris.
Yeah.
You have heard the reading of ordinance 25-25. Thank you, Mr. Attorney. And I did not interrupt because this is a first reading. There may be those that don't have access for whatever reason to the text. And we do have a second reading. You govern yourself accordingly. If you want to say, let me do some summarizing or whatever.
Be happy to summarize on the second reading.
Summarize and make copies for
Yes.
everybody. I don't want to listen to that
Listen to
again.
my first reading.
Mayor, I want to point out, this is a great example of Chris's experience from Kentucky League of Cities, what he calls going around and kicking the tires on some of our ordinances
Yes.
and making proper changes.
Yes.
So it's actually, I know it was long-winded, but it is exciting for him, to see him pick up on these changes that need to be made
That
to
was-
our ordinance.
Yeah, that was one of my changes. Those suggestion changes that we have are to bring us into compliance
Yes,
with
yeah.
Kentucky guidelines, correct?
Yeah, I mean, you heard there were
Let
a
me-
couple mentions of cannabis-infused beverages. Obviously,
Yeah.
that wasn't in place.
Chris, let me do this.
Sure.
We've heard this reading. May we have a motion, please, to bring to the floor for discussion?
So moved.
All right, Commissioner Cole
Second.
and Commissioner Newby. Now, discussion.
Yeah,
So the changes you read to us that are in the new guidelines are to get us in compliance with Kentucky guidelines, right?
Commissioner Cole, that is correct. You heard there were some references to cannabis-infused beverages. Obviously,
Yes.
that wasn't in place when this ordinance went into effect. There were a couple other just wrinkles under the law that it didn't mesh with the statute that needed to be fixed. And just trying to clarify and try to make it more accessible for people in our community that may want to obtain a license. Obviously, like reading the websites for that, obviously, we're online now, and the state is as well. There's not a paper record that they would apply for, which the former ordinance reflected.
There's a place that sells alcohol. Can they sell cannabis?
Okay, so there is a distinction as far as the cannabis being sold is derived from
Medical.
hemp.
Right?
So that's a little bit different. That's a wrinkle from the federal agricultural bill from about 10 years ago.
Right.
So my understanding is under state ABC regulations that they can sell both because it's over the counter and I know the state is looking to regulate it more conclusively than they are currently. I'm not aware of any regulation right now under 241 to 244 that states you cannot sell both currently.
And we're probably
I think that was under.
riding in this buggy we're probably riding in this buggy while we're building it.
A little bit, yeah, yeah. Or to update it, flying to plane as we're.
That was under H?
Thank you, Jim.
He highlighted.
Could you repeat that all again?
Sure.
Thank you, Chris. Thank you
Yes,
so
sir.
much. Any further discussion? Or in our next regular meeting, we will have the second reading. And thank you, thank you, thank you. Order 25-140, that's Order 25-140, an order of the City of Richmond accepting resignation by an employee in the recycle department. Madam Clerk, please.
Whereas Gary Lockhart in the Recycle Department has submitted a resignation notice to the city, now therefore be it ordered that the Richmond City Board of Commissioners accepts the resignation of Gary Lockhart in the Recycle Department effective September 26, 2025. The Board of Commissioners would like to thank Mr. Lockhart for his service and dedication since 2017. This order shall be effective immediately upon its adoption by the City of Richmond Board of Commissioners.
Thank you, ma'am. That's Order 25-140. May we have a motion, please, to bring the floor for discussion and approval?
So moved.
Commissioner Goble,
Second.
Commissioner Newby, is there any discussion? There being none, Madam Clerk, please.
Commissioner Newby,
Yes.
Commissioner Brewer,
Yes.
Commissioner Cole,
Yes.
Commissioner Goble,
Yes.
Mayor Blythe.
Yes, thank you. Order 25-141, an order of the City of Richmond hiring an employee in the recycle department. Madam Clerk, please.
Whereas the recycle department needs a full-time labor one due to a recent resignation, and whereas the position was advertised and interviews conducted, and whereas the city manager has recommended a hire for the position. Now therefore be it ordered by the City of Richmond Board of Commissioners. The following individual is hired contingent upon their successful completion of the city's pre-employment requirements as labor one for the recycle department at a salary rate of $15.75 per hour, effective payroll October 3rd, 2025. Jason Lewis is an at-will employee and will serve a one-year probationary period. This order shall be in full force and effect upon reading and adoption by the City of Richmond Board of Commissioners.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. That's Order 25-141. May we have a motion, please, bring to the floor for discussion and approval?
So moved.
Commissioner Brewer,
Second.
Commissioner Newby, is there any discussion?
I just wanted to ask our
Yes.
city manager if we could possibly do some social media around the fact that Richmond provides free recycling. You know, you can take your recycle bin to the curb and we pick it up totally for free. I was out walking the night before our meeting and our recycle is tomorrow. And was asking, some of my neighbors, I'm like, it's recycle night, don't forget to take it down. They're like, well, I don't want to pay for that. But I think it's kind of one of the best kept secrets is that
Sure.
the city of Richmond does that for free. And we're already running our trucks, so
That's right.
if we could get more
Absolutely.
people to recycle, it would help us get some economies of scale in there. So I don't know, I just thought maybe we could do something on social media to say, we recycle, it's free, and make people more aware of that.
Absolutely. We'll do it.
And also, maybe just an update, not right now, but an update on what we're actually taking now at
Sure.
Recycle.
And then what we're selling.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can invite Aaron to our next meeting, our recycling director, to give us a report, maybe at the next work session.
Thank
Do we
you.
do glass now? Is glass one of them?
I don't do glass anymore.
No glass.
No glass at all, and then cardboard boxes. were-
Cardboard and plastic.
Cardboard's been probably the biggest
Yeah,
item that the
They don't, do they
recycling
pick
handles.
up cardboard with it? They take cardboard but don't pick it up, right?
Maybe
you have,
the businesses.
you have to drop it off.
Yeah, they drop.
Yeah.
I live with somebody that recycles
Yeah.
everything.
Mm-hmm.
But, I think you take the cardboard and they pick up plastic and paper.
Cans.
Cans.
And then we pick up cardboard at, large retail
Yeah,
places.
yeah, I'm
boxes
talking about,
and
yeah,
stuff
really,
like
yeah.
that.
Have we voted on this one, Madam Clerk? All right. Order 25-141. Madam Clerk, please.
Commissioner Brewer,
Yes.
Commissioner Cole,
Yes.
Commissioner Goble,
Yes.
Commissioner Newby,
Yes.
Mayor Blythe.
Yes, thank you. Order 25-142, order of the City of Richmond awarding a golf cart lease bid for Gibson Bay Golf Course. Madam Clerk, please.
An order of the City of Richmond awarding a bid for a golf cart lease for Gibson Bay Golf Course, whereas Gibson Bay Golf Course leases golf carts for the course use, whereas the city did advertise for bids and received 3 bids, and whereas after careful review and consideration, a recommendation is hereby submitted for approval. Now therefore be it ordered by the Richmond City Board of Commissioners that the City of Richmond accepts the bid from Ladd's of Memphis, Tennessee for a lease of the following: quantity of 64 2026 Club Car Tempo gasoline golf cars. The mayor is authorized to sign the lease agreement. The agreement will be effective when both mutual parties have signed and dated. This order shall become effective immediately upon passage by the Richmond City Board of Commissioners.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. That's Order 25-142. May we have a motion, please, bring the floor for discussion and approval.
So moved.
Commissioner Goble,
Second.
Commissioner Brewer, is there any discussion?
Mayor, I would just
Yes,
say that this is a 4-year lease. It was the cheapest proposal for gasoline golf carts. There's a total of 64 of them. And looking to the future, we're probably going to have to, next time around in 4 years, or probably 3.5 years, look at going to electric carts. So we'll need to be looking at building a metal building out there to accommodate that. So it gives us some time to do that.
Thank you, sir. Any other discussion? There being none, Madam Clerk, please.
Commissioner Cole,
Yes.
Commissioner Goble,
Yes.
Commissioner Newby,
Yes.
Commissioner Brewer,
Yes.
Mayor Blige.
Yes, thank you. Order 25-143, an order amending Order 25-76, authorizing the City of Richmond to enter into an updated interlocal agreement with the Madison County Fiscal Court and the City of Berea for establishment and operation of a Madison County Emergency 911 Communications Center. Mr. City Manager, please.
Whereas Kentucky Revised Statutes, Chapters 39A through 39F authorize local governments to establish emergency management agencies to coordinate disaster and emergency preparedness, response, recovery, and mitigation efforts, and whereas the City of Richmond, the Madison County Fiscal Court, and the City of Berea have jointly developed an interlocal agreement to create and operate a unified Madison County Emergency 911 Communications Center, and whereas the proposed updated interlocal agreement outlines the governance, structure, scope of services, cost sharing, and responsibilities of all parties involved in the management of emergency preparedness services, and whereas the City of Richmond finds it necessary and in the best interest of the public safety to formally enter this updated interlocal agreement, which was previously adopted by Order 25-76, now therefore be ordered by the City Commission of the City of Richmond, Kentucky, that the City of Richmond hereby adopts and approves the updated interlocal agreement for Madison County Emergency 911 Communications Center as presented. The mayor is hereby authorized to execute the agreement on behalf of the City of Richmond. This order shall be effective immediately upon its adoption by the City of Richmond Board of Commissioners.
Thank you, sir. That's Order 25-143, updated, and may we have a motion, please, bring to the floor for discussion and approval.
I move.
Commissioner Newby
Second.
and Commissioner Cole. Is there any discussion?
Mayor, if I may.
Yes, sir, please.
One piece of language I did not read and I struck out is under the third whereas, where it says cost sharing based on population.
Notice that.
That's actually not correct in reference to the actual agreements where the cost is based on total calls of service on a calendar year, the previous calendar year. So I just struck through that, and when you sign it, I think we're good with that being left out, right?
Where was that at? I'm sorry, I got confused.
The third whereas, the third paragraph down where it says cost sharing based on population, that's incorrect. The
I see it.
Call volume.
yeah, it's actually, it's based on the share of total calls for each government body on a calendar year basis.
So we pay 56%,
That's what it is at this time, yeah.
and then
The word-
Madison County's 24, and then Berea's 20.
That's the current, yeah.
But this in no way affects the agreement that this board did about paying the first year.
No, this agreement actually designates each local government to pay their own share each year. And that's reliant on what they determine is the best way to collect that fee.
Then more or less how it's distributed. This is
Yeah,
right.
that's correct.
Thank you, sir. Any further discussion? Order 25-143 with its changes. Madam Clerk, please.
Commissioner Goble,
Yes.
Commissioner Newby,
Yes.
Commissioner Brewer,
Yes.
Commissioner Cole,
Yes.
Mayor Blige.
Yes, thank you. Order 25-144, order of the Board of Commissioners approving a change order number 1 for Phase 1A on the Richmond Regional Sports Complex. Mr. City Manager, please.
Whereas the city is currently finishing up Phase 1A of grading and drainage on the Richmond Regional Sports Complex, Allen Company has recommended a change order number 4. And whereas the City Commission has reviewed the agreement and made a recommendation to move forward, now therefore be ordered that the Richmond City Board of Commissioners authorize the following change order number 1 for the Richmond Regional Sports Complex. Phase 1A between the City of Richmond and Allen Company. Change order number 1 provides slopes on properties and regrade in the amount of $396,396. Engineers project number 604-24-04. The mayor is authorized to execute same on behalf of the city. This order shall be effective immediately upon the adoption by the Board of Commissioners for the city of Richmond, Kentucky.
Thanks, sir. That's Order 25-144. May we have a motion to bring to the floor for discussion and approval?
So moved.
Commissioner Brewer,
Second.
Commissioner Newby. Is there any discussion, Mr. City Manager?
Mayor, if I may, I know this seems like an awful lot of money. These changes were requested by actually us, the owner, and Bell Engineering. And to kind of go through the changes we requested, one of them has to do with exiting the park on Goggins Lane. And if you're looking back towards Covington Woods and Brookline, that line of sight and people coming over the hill is dangerous. So we've asked them to grade off that whole corner of the property so visibility is better for safety reasons. The other pieces of this has to do with the roundabouts at the top of both Goggins Lanes entrances and the Tate's Creek entrances, where again, the slopes are too high around the roundabouts. We're asking them to peel them off on the top and try to grade them back to a 2-to-1 or 3-to-1 slope on the back, so maintenance will be easier to handle. It also includes a drainage system. There's a large berm that runs the length of the 8-pack of soccer fields on the south side. And we need to install a drainage system that goes underneath that berm so the water will run off properly. The other thing we picked up on, so the 8-pack of fields is kind of tiered. And if you've been out there, you see this. You've got 2 fields here, 2 fields here, 2 fields here, and it just kind of goes down steps almost. And in order to get pedestrian traffic from those different levels and also park utility vehicles, we need to do some regrading to make paths more at a slope to get from each level. So that's part of this as well.
So it moves the traffic that way? I mean, you have to,
Well, right now, it's tiered in 4 different levels without what I would call an acceptable way for people to get from one field to the other. So they're gonna regrade that and fix that. And then, also, park utility vehicles will need to get from field to field and need that access as well. I will point out that we did have a change order. It's been some time ago. That was a $200,000 credit. So if that helps your heartburn at all, it is a lot of money, but it is necessary.
It helps Tammy's heart.
Yeah, I can tell.
It hurts my heart when we do these big numbers. But, and I know we talked today, but just to make sure I understand, so just call it 400,000 because it's easier. But we do have that money in our original bonding and our original budget, so we don't have to go back and
That is correct.
dip into that in any way.
That is correct.
We have enough cushion.
Yeah, we've got enough cushion there. There's a contingency there, so we're good.
This is a big cushion. We need a big cushion for this.
Trust me, I told them no more of these. The wiggle room is getting smaller and smaller,
Yes.
I'll tell you that.
Any further discussion? Any questions, comments? Order 25-144. The elders would say is on its passage. If there's no further discussion, Madam Clerk, please.
Commissioner Newby,
Yes.
Commissioner Brewer,
yes.
Commissioner Cole,
Yes.
Commissioner Goble,
Yes.
Mayor Blythe.
Yes, thank you. This is the period for public comments. Anyone come tonight to address the commission, please give your name for the clerk's record and
My name is George Childs. Just a few little items here. There's a drain by the CVS on Main. It used to have an orange cone sticking out. I mean, it's a real deep rut. I don't know if we can get a grate to make it street level. I'm surprised nobody's
corner
been
of
there.
North Collins and Main.
Well, CVS, right there, there was an orange cone in there for a month or two, and it's gone. I'm just surprised nobody's tires.
It's on the corner
It's in,
or at-
it's not in the corner, it's in the middle of the road.
Oh, I'm not aware of that, and I drive that 5 times every day, but go ahead.
Okay. And then, I think we need to be able to see the planning and zoning commission meetings, like we do the city commissioners meetings. It sort of keeps us up to date a little bit,
We used to.
and just, it's hard to stay on top of that.
We can do that.
Then, on the Door District, the way I understood it is like, you're not gonna be able to carry in cups from one business to another. So that's gonna probably create a lot of trash or recycle. I don't know how we can look into that. And early on, there was a discussion about fees levied to businesses and properties that are vacant or not doing anything. From what I remember, I don't think that fee was high enough to try and discourage them from just trying to sell or move on. I don't know if there's like a limitation, but that's that. And for your recycle, I think it costs you $10 for a bin, but you take the bin back, you can get your $10.
That's almost free.
It is, I mean, once you put the 10 in, it makes the garbage can a lot lighter. And we haven't heard anything about the city of Richmond, how they're going to be doing the taxing for the 911 system. You know, I mean, we sort of kicked the can down the road for a year, I guess, by.
I'm sorry, City of Richmond gonna do what?
We're gonna pay for the 911 after this first year. I mean,
For the first year, yes.
yeah, I mean, they have paid, but
He's
where are
saying
we
after the
headed
first
after that second year?
What we're going to do for the second year?
Yeah, I mean, you know, the county's been talking water meters and this and that. and I just, you know, everybody, it seemed like it was all together as one unit, and then all of a sudden we split to 3 different units. I don't know if that was because of the way it was worded for the property value, like the square footage or whatever, which I thought square footage was fine. I mean, you're gonna have the same square footage year after year. Plus you've got, I don't know how many subdivisions have been approved here, but there's quite a few. So I was just waiting to hear how that all gonna come about. So that's all I got.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Anyone else? All righty. Commissioner Brewer?
I don't have
Excuse me,
anything. Oh,
I'm sorry, Mr. City Manager.
Just 2 items. Our Millstone Festival is Saturday, October 4th, and then we did get the EKU Hoops event at Dillingham moved from the October 14th to the October 16th date. That's all I have.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. I was going to miss it otherwise, and I didn't want to miss it, so thank you that it got worked out by whatever means. Commissioner Brewer?
Just on the Millstone Festival for the car show, today I learned that we had some specialty cars coming from Ohio and other places for the car show that have not been there before, and it's going to be kind of neat. They're Mopar cars, and it's going to be neat. Going to be set above than what it has been, so I look forward to it. That's it.
Commissioner Cole?
I'm good, thank you.
All righty. Commissioner Newby?
I have nothing, sir.
Commissioner Goble?
I'm good.
All righty. Anything come through the office today that we need to? Thank you very much. Thank you very much. If all
Hearts and minds.
hearts and minds are clear, we'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
All right, Commissioner Cole and Commissioner Newby. Madam Clerk, please. We'll make it official.
Commissioner Cole,
Yes.
Commissioner Goble,
Yes.
Commissioner Newby.
Yes.
Commissioner Brewer,
Yes.
Mayor Blige.
Thank you so much. Yes. Thanks to all of you. Thanks